Good afternoon. This is Robert Cornicelli. I'm the National President for Veterans for America First. And on with me today, I have Jared Craig. Now, Jared is one of the most amazing guys I've ever met. Jared is not a veteran, but I'll tell you this, he's got more veteran in his heart than most of the veterans I've served with. Everything that Jared and I have ever talked about, it's about helping veterans, making sure military are well equipped, making sure they have their benefits, making sure veterans have their benefits, making sure law enforcement have the protections. Jared Craig is more, he does more for veterans than most of the veterans I know. He puts an enormous amount of time into Veterans for America First, which, I mean, we're writing bills to help veterans. We're writing bills to help law enforcement. We're helping to get veterans elected into all houses, from municipalities to states to, the House, the Senate, the President. Jared, I always start off telling the veterans that I speak to how honored I am to be interviewing them or endorsing them. But I mean this from the bottom of my heart because I am a veteran. I'm a 100% service connected disabled veteran. I'm a retiree. The things you do for us, um, there's a small percentage, less than 1% of the veteran community do the things you do. So um, even before we get into all the things we do, you know, well, you should know now that you 100% have the Veterans for America First endorsement. You are Veterans for America First.
Well, thank you very much, Robert. It has been a pleasure. The reason why I got involved with Veterans for America First, which was previously Veterans for Trump, is I come from a long line of veterans. I am, like you said, not a veteran myself, but an advocate for veterans. And when I ran for Congress in 2022, I realized how many of our resources that were paid for by federal and state level taxes were being sent to illegal immigrants that were sending to benefit or weird DEI, CRT, and all the other three-letter poisons that we have in our country while the veterans were being ignored. My father's a Vietnam veteran. Both of my grandfathers are, or were, they're both passed away, Navy pilots. And, I've got nieces and nephews in every branch of the armed forces except for Space Force that I know of. But with that being said, it's a meaningful thing that I've been doing because who's more, I would say, deserving than our veterans than any other demographic in our country? While we see people fighting for resources and grasping for straws and grasping for fraud now that we've seen from some of these special interests on the left, the veterans have been left without resources, without access to benefits, without access to medical care. And, all of it's tied together. So, because the veterans and first responders and active duty military have taken upon themselves to step up and defend this country with their lives, we all owe them a debt of gratitude. And I am honored to be able to advocate for veterans from all wars, for all peacetime, because you have made the deal with the American people that you're going to step up and defend us against enemies, foreign and domestic. Right now, we have more domestic than ever, and we're going to have to rely on our veterans to step up and get in office and hopefully wipe this slate clean and get rid of a lot of the problems that the last administration brought. So, thank you for the endorsement. I'm humbled, but this endorsement matters a lot to me because it's from friends, from people we've been working with, and you specifically, Robert. We've been part of the Trump campaign. We were in multiple states. As you know, I've been in most every state from Nevada to Arkansas to North South Carolina, back and forth to D.C., Virginia, Florida, you name it, promoting candidates who are first responders and veterans and giving them either the tools that they need to get where they need to in their race or to provide them with some assistance for putting their campaigns together. And we've got some good people in Congress through our efforts. And at the local level, we're still working pretty hard. And the job is never done. And the problem that we have is unqualified candidates in every race. and those are the ones that are dangerous. And what we want to do is provide those that are patriotic, that are America first minded, and capable of doing what needs to be done.
You know, I had did an endorsement this morning for Dr. John Fleming. He's running for U.S. Senate in Louisiana. And yesterday I did one for Craig Haggard. He's running for the 4th Congressional District in Indiana. He's a Marine. Dr. Fleming was a Navy physician. And normally, when I go through this process, I tell them what VFAF is doing, what bills we're passing, what bills we're writing. And I ask them, you know, are you in favor of these things? But with you, it's a little different because when I do think of something that's negatively affecting the veteran community, as a veteran, as a 100% service connected disabled veteran, as a retiree, I'm going through these things, and I always come to you. So when I think of something, I say, hey, maybe we could put this in a bill. I jot down my ideas and I come right to you. And I mean, you're a lawyer. And lawyers charge people for these types of things, but with you, it's always been, hey, Jared, what do we do with this Halo bill? Or what we started out as the 3-foot Safety Act and went to the 21-foot Safety Act. You've spent enormous amounts of time figuring out, hey, instead of this being a standalone bill with a standalone consequence, hey, we can make this an obstruction charge, or all the things we do here that I normally have to ask people for their commitment on, you're already committed to. I mean, you're there to help us ensure that veterans who have TRICARE for life keep TRICARE for life for the rest of their lives, forget going on Medicare and all these other things. So the greatest thing about you is there's no need to ask you for a commitment for all the things we do in Veterans for America First, because you've helped draft them all. You've helped lobby for them all. We went down to Georgia and lobbied before their Senate. And so this is so easy. Everything we do in Veterans for America First for veterans, you're behind us.
Well, one of the things that I'm looking to do now is advocate for all America. And I've got a set of bills that you and I have discussed off the record that have to do with immigration that wasn't specifically tied to the veterans until we discovered how many of the illegal aliens were receiving veterans benefits for housing and different things. But the other bills that I've been working for is to insulate the America First agenda. And as you know, I've been in, a lot of campaigns advising from the sidelines. And one of the problems that we have at the federal level are candidates, one, that don't know the difference between state and federal issues, or two, they have opinions and ideas, but they don't know how to get things from point A to point B. And that's something that I want to bring. For instance, the Halo bill, we had some good ideas. We want to provide safety so we get better people, first responders, and how's the best way to do it? Well, because I live in the world of litigation and codified law, I knew exactly where to go. And dealing with state representatives at different states, Georgia's being part-time representatives, we have to make it easy for them to understand it. So instead of, like you said, a standalone bill, we're able to get this add-on or amendment to a current bill so we're not reinventing the wheel. And so many candidates that I've heard in my race, I think there's 20 plus candidates in the
Oh,
race, they have opinions and thoughts, and they'll say I'm pro this or pro that. But what the hell are you going to do? How are you going to get there? I mean, you might have a wheelbarrow and a shovel, but you need the plans. You need to be able to get the foundation flat. You need to know how to do that. And they might be all good people, but well suited at the state level, or well suited at the county commissioner level, or well suited in some other role. And I come to this race as what I believe is the most qualified candidate because I know what the job is, I know how to do it, I know the people I'll be working with, and I can hit the ground running on day one.
I know it. And like I said to these other two guys, um, this country needs, I said to them, we need you. I said to Dr. Fleming, this country needs you. I mean, you bring to the U.S. Senate honor, integrity, personal courage, all these values that we have in the military.
I'm running for the U.S. House, by the way.
No, I know, but I'm saying when I was
Oh,
talking to Dr.
oh, you're talking to
Fleming,
him. Sorry.
I was just trying to compare you to, all these people that I've been talking to and doing these endorsements, they have all these qualities that make them the most qualified to run and the most qualified to do the job. You are by far the most qualified person I have ever come across. And I know that because I've worked with you for the past couple, several years, and you're nonstop. You put your heart into things, and it's not about making money. It's not about wealth. It's not about greed. It's not about power. For you, it's about helping people. And I know that from my heart. There's absolutely not an ounce of greed in you. And that's something that the House sorely needs. More candidates who are not there to increase their wealth, increase power. I know why you're there because you've done it for nothing for many years.
Well, I've been stubbornly myself for quite a while, and there's three things that I've said recently that would nicely fit on three separate bumper stickers. One is if you don't know what the job is, the job won't get done. Two, if you don't know who you are, you will certainly be someone else. And if you don't know where you're headed, you will end up somewhere else. Now, that sounds like some bad fortune cookies, but so many people get in Washington and they don't know who they are. They've never tested themselves in a adversarial role, or they've never been battle tested to test their character, their integrity. And I have had a lot of that in my life, and I know who I am. I'm stubbornly myself, and I know what I know, and I'm here for the right reasons. I'm here to do the right thing, and I want to do it the right way. And sadly, that's not the norm.
No, you are the guy to run. You are the guy who can win, and you're definitely the person who can succeed in Congress, succeed in the Senate. You are a guy who concede. You're a guy who can succeed because it's not again about power and wealth. It's about helping others. And I got to say, this is the easiest endorsement I've ever had. And I've endorsed a lot of people with huge military careers, but I've had to do research on them. I had to find out, are they really America first? Are they really in it for themselves? How much wealth have they accumulated? Why do they do this? This one was so easy because I know you and I know where your heart is. And to every veteran who watches this video that I'm going to be sharing everywhere for the next couple of weeks, I'm telling you, Jared Craig is in this for everyone else. He's not in this for Jared Craig. So once again, Jared, you have our endorsement. You're one of the most unique individuals I've ever met. And you're probably going to be like that diamond in the rough when you get there. And I hope what you have rubs off on at least the people sitting next to you. But I hope you can influence people further on because we have too many crooks. We have too many wealth and power hungry people in there. And I'm hoping you rub off on them because this country can be saved just by one person's influence.
Right. And the other thing is I'm willing to call people out if they're not willing to do what they say they're going to do. I'm very quick to call someone out and say, we need this to get done and you're in the way. Either get out of the way or you're the next target. And I'm not sure if, targeting people, but with that being said, there's a tough love that's necessary. The Republican Party's branched out and broken out a little bit into establishment MAGA or the uniparty party or sorry, uniparty candidates that once they get to where they think they want to get to, they sell their soul at discount prices. um, but that's not me. I'm not trying to do anything to entertain people. I'm not here to make jokes or do any sort of bombastic stunt jobs. We can't afford gimmicks anymore. We can't afford unqualified candidates. And that's what the people of Northwest Georgia deserve. They deserve someone who knows what they're doing, willing to do it, and knows what they need.
Well, you're the guy. Jared, thank you again for running. Thank you again for everything you've done for veterans, for military service members, for law enforcement. You have the Veterans for America First endorsement. Congratulations, and we're going to do everything we can to get you that victory.
Well, thank you very much, and we'll be in touch.
No,
We're
I
good
know.
friends.
I bother you often.
Sounds good.
All
Keep
right.
up the good work.
Congratulations. This is yours.
Thank you.
Bye.